Hi, this is Eric Durek, and welcome to this edition of Med Health Fit, the TV show that integrates wellness and healthcare. And tonight I have a very special guest. I have Stephanie Gombrelli from the Santa Barbara Wellness Center. Tell me the name of the institute.
Santa Barbara Wellness Professionals.
Santa Barbara Wellness Professionals on Upper State Street. And I've known about the Wellness Professional building for a while, but a few weeks ago I got an invitation to come listen to you talk about a launch of a new wellness product, and we're going to get into that in just a second. But beforehand, I'd just like to learn a little bit about how you got into wellness, which is going to lead up to this new product launch. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, Eric, I'm an esthetician. I've been one for 15 years.
Okay.
And then I started to have some health problems. And then I came across some wellness professionals, and we came together as a collaborative and started Santa Barbara Wellness Professionals out of my interest to heal myself.
Okay, and you know what? A lot of people who are in the wellness field have had an issue. They've had a problem with a car accident, so they got into chiropractic. They had a sports injury, so they became a physical therapist. Myself, I was a sports athlete. I went into exercise science. I wanted to learn about it, and I thought it was very interesting. How long have you been in the industry? You about 10, 15 years now?
Well, I've been an esthetician for 15 years,
okay.
But I only got into the wellness field for the last 3 years.
Well, how long has Santa Barbara Wellness Professionals been on Upper State Street?
It's been in existence for 3 years.
Okay, so 3 years. And some of your partners you have a homeopath?
We do have a naturopath.
Naturopath.
And we have a hydrocolon therapist.
Okay.
We have an acupuncturist who specializes in restoring vision, better vision.
Interesting. Coming from a guy with glasses. I'm interested in that a lot these days because it's harder and harder for me to read. And so your specialty in skincare, how did it lead to where you are right now? I mean, there seems to be a big leap here from skin, which is, important organ, largest organ in the body, lots of issues with skincare products, all this kind of stuff, and the natural stuff that's coming on board, to thinking about developing a new, essentially, toothpaste product.
Right. Well, that's a good question. It is a stretch, but because of surrounding myself with people who are healing other people and having my own health issues, that's how I got involved, because one thing led to another. And I tried to incorporate some alternative wellness therapies in my skincare, such as near-infrared light therapy, organic products, things like that.
Excellent. Okay, so the product that I came in to field test is called Crushtabs, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Crushtabs, and this is actually a product sample. And the interesting thing about this product, and I'm going to let you say it, is that it is not a paste. It's
a tablet.
It's a tablet. Okay, and how do you use it?
Well, just like it says on the bottle, you crush it, you brush with your toothbrush, and then you rinse. And accidentally, I discovered that you can also use it as a mouthwash. So if you don't have a toothbrush, then you can just crush and rinse.
Okay, so interesting. So it has a number of different purposes, and how is it sort of different from what I'm going to call traditional toothpaste? I don't use a traditional, I'm not a Crest guy or whatever, but from what I would consider the national brands, what makes it different, other than it's a solid and not a paste? What makes it different?
Well, really two things. And one is the ingredients that it does have, which I will talk about later, but the ingredients that it doesn't have. And in the toothpaste that we see on the shelves today, There's a lot of hazardous ingredients, and so I've avoided all of those and just use healthy, natural ingredients.
Okay, and we will get into that in a second, but one of the reasons why I'm a non-traditional toothpaste guy is like 25 years ago, I got into the whole fluoride issue. And fluoride is in municipal water supplies, fluoride is in toothpaste, and fluoride is the anti-cavity paste that is used in dental offices. And one of the things that was frightening to me is that on a toothpaste tube, there's actually a hazmat warning. It basically says that, you know, don't swallow this. If you do, you may have to go to the emergency room. And I'm thinking to myself, a product that you use 2 or 3 times a day that should be helping to, you know, heal the body has the most electronegative chemical in the periodic table, which is fluorine, and if swallowed is considered to be a hazardous substance. So I applaud you for not having that substance, because in my research and in my experience, you don't need fluoride in toothpaste because there's a lot of foods that you get naturally occurring. So you have a tagline that says that your toothpaste is the healthiest toothpaste on earth. How did you come up with that? Where did go ahead, I'll let you explain.
Well, there's just 3 ingredients, and it's really hard to find any product with just 3 ingredients, but it has xylitol, which is a sweetener, used as a sweetener, but it also whitens the teeth and does not add to tooth decay.
Okay.
It also fights bacteria. And baking soda, everybody knows about baking soda, the benefits of baking soda, also fights bacteria. And then essential oil of peppermint,
Excellent.
organic.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the 3 ingredients.
How do you mold it together? How is it kept? How does it not fall apart?
Well,
Is there a baking process? Is there a heating process? Is
yes.
there a
Well,
cooling
that's
process?
proprietary.
That's proprietary. All right,
You know,
well, then
but
I won't
yes,
ask much about that. But there's a process that you go to actually make it into a solid form. That you can
yes, but
actually-
nothing is added. There's no other chemical added
Right,
to make it that
there's
way.
No preservative. There's no
No.
caking agent or any of that kind of stuff.
No.
Okay, well, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get into the ingredients right now because you have called Crushtabs an on-the-go product. And when I first came in, and I told you this before we got on the air, I didn't know anything. Had no idea what I was walking into. It said, you know, the ad said, you'd be testing a new health product. And that could be anything to me. And the last thing I would have ever thought of was a new, toothpaste. And when we sat and chatted in your office, I thought to myself, you could put this in your travel kit. You can have this for vacations, and you can put it in very small, because some people use those big toothpaste things, and I just thought it was interesting. So let's get into these 3 ingredients and actually what it doesn't have. So it doesn't have any fluoride. You've done no animal testing. You don't believe that you have to test an animal to use this because these products are already in existence.
Right.
It's SLS free. What is SLS?
That is sodium lauryl sulfate.
That's a preservative for toothpaste, right? I don't know if it's a preservative, but
It's a foaming agent,
oh, really?
and it tends to dry out the mouth.
Yeah.
So,
well,
and a dry mouth can actually cause bad breath. So, along with other things, coffee and
right.
alcohol sometimes dries out the mouth.
Mm-hmm. It's
So-
gluten free.
Yes.
And of course, it's vegan. So, all right. So, xylitol, sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda, and then the essential oil of peppermint. And as a guy who's getting into the essential oil mindset, I actually have stopped using colognes, and I use essential oils. And I applaud you that you're using. Why peppermint? I mean, will you be using sort of other flavors? Will you have a spearmint? Will you have a essence of something else that people associate with good
Yes.
tasting products?
Yes. Well, this is the original formula, and it's the first formula.
Okay.
And there will be an evening formula and a morning formula. And those will have some other really fun ingredients, but it's a secret for now.
Okay, and that's fine. That's fine. So, how are you planning on getting the word out? What's the big marketing push here?
Well, I'm going to be launching a Kickstarter in January.
Okay.
And that should have a really fun video explaining the uses of it and showing it being used in different situations.
Who inspired you? Is like a lot of big ideas that just pop into your head one day? Or were you brushing your teeth in a hotel room and you said, there's got to be a better way to do this?
Actually, my mother inspired me. I have always used baking soda to brush my teeth. And because I don't have any cavities, never had any cavities or fillings, I thought it must be working. And so, and I actually don't like the taste of toothpaste. So I always used baking soda in the powder form. Right. And it's actually quite messy and inconvenient, but I was using it like that.
Right.
And when I thought about sharing that with other people, I knew that they wouldn't like the taste of baking soda. It's not a great taste.
Right.
And so I had to look for other ingredients that were also healthy and good for the teeth that people would like. So they would use the product.
Right, and it essentially you're gonna not prescribe, but you're gonna recommend that people still brush after every meal. The same methodology as they would with toothpaste, and you can actually, as you mentioned earlier, you can actually use this product independent of having a toothbrush. So if you had some in your travel bag and you for some reason couldn't find a toothpaste, you can chew it almost like a breath mint, right?
Yes, I wouldn't call it a breath mint only because I don't recommend swallowing it, although antacids are mainly made of that, and so it's not going to hurt you if you do swallow it, but it's not intended to be used that way. And basically what you would do if you didn't have a toothbrush,
which comes in the pack, right?
It does, but I think everybody has their own toothbrush, but it's nice that this one comes with the, come on out, comes with the toothbrushes in there. Two, one for you, one for your partner, hopefully. And I don't know if you can zoom in on this, but this is, can you see that?
If you lift your hand up just a tad, perfect.
That way?
So they're like, I'm not going to say Pez candies, but they do look a little bit like Pez candies.
They're in that shape, but they say Crush on it.
Well, they do, actually. Well,
they do.
That's part of that proprietary blend.
Yes.
So anyway.
And then you would just put as many as you want in your mouth. They're pretty small. And you would crush, which is code for chew.
Right.
Chew, chew. And then you actually don't even need water because it really makes the mouth salivate.
Okay.
And you can swish around with the water, and then even if you're at a restaurant, no one would know what you're doing. You can just rinse it out into another cup. Nobody would know.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So I'm gonna venture off a little bit, and I want to ask a question about just kind of oral hygiene and some trends, because what I see with this product is it's going to hopefully establish itself as the next sort of trend in toothbrushing, oral hygiene, etc. I mean, because there have been mouthwashes like Listerine that have been 100 years, and I correct me if I'm wrong, I think Listerine has alcohol in it. I think a lot of these mouthwashes have an alcohol base, which again, it dries the mouth out. It might not be good for some people's membranes, etc. And so your product doesn't have any of that kind of stuff. But one of the interesting things that I have been reading about, and I actually found someone who did it, is that they are swishing coconut paste in their mouth for 10 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day. and they're thinking that the act of doing this gets rid of bacteria, actually can help heal cavities. People who have said, well, I had a cavity, my dentist diagnosed a cavity, but instead of getting it filled, I started doing coconut oil. Have you heard anything about that?
Yes, it's called oil pulling, and I tried it myself. Actually, I think 20 minutes is suggested.
20 minutes, okay.
And it's really difficult to do. It wasn't enjoyable, and so I gave that up.
Okay.
But I hear good things about it. Yeah.
But based on your expertise in this, do you think that this may have the same, I mean, we're not recommending any dental procedures here, but do you think that as part of your formulation that this may have sort of the same types of things with the mouth? Like you say, if anything, just hydration, salivation, et cetera, getting the mouth sort of ready for the day.
Yes, I don't think that it was suggested that oil pulling was supposed to be in place of brushing your teeth, but this product is.
Okay,
So
well,
that's the main difference, I think.
Because this person that I met on my travels back east this summer does oil pulling every day. She does it for the recommended 20 minutes, but she doesn't brush her teeth anymore except on occasion.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that was very interesting. And again, she did a lot of research on it, but I didn't know much about it. I've read some things on some health websites. I've tried it myself, and I will tell you that I got to about 5 minutes, and I said, "This is going to be tough."
Right.
Because if you're not used to swishing things around in your mouth, you're using your facial muscles. After a while, they get fatigued. So 20 minutes is like an exercise regime, and I'm just wondering if you can't make it to 20 minutes, is it even effective? I don't know.
It's a huge commitment.
Mm-hmm. So when you brush your teeth with this, give me a recommended time frame. 30 seconds, minute and a half? I mean, what's your normal MO when you use the product?
Well, one of the great things about this product too is that because it's a tablet, when you're chewing it, it's pushing these beneficial ingredients into the pits and fissures of the teeth where bacteria forms. And so it really does a lot of the work that a toothbrush would do anyways, at least for that area. Mm-hmm. And the brushing really is just to get the flat surfaces of the teeth.
Right.
So actually it's quicker, I think, than a regular brushing.
Uh-huh. Okay. And you don't necessarily, I mean, I think for a lot of people, brushing is a very individual thing. I know some people brush for 5 minutes, some people brush for a minute and a half. So.
Well, I have to admit, I'm one of those people that didn't really enjoy brushing my teeth before, but with this product, it's quite pleasant.
So this is mindful brushing, right? Because a lot of people brush their teeth and they've done it so many times, they don't really even think about it. They're taught, getting ready for work. They're looking at themselves in the mirror. They're doing something, and they're really not paying attention. So my next question is it's not a substitute for flossing, but based on what you just said, as you're crushing, grinding it in, it actually kind of goes in between the teeth, whatever. There is a sort of a flossing element there, isn't it?
Well, actually, flossing is a whole different subject, and I have addressed that as well with some other accessory products to this product, and one of them is called Crush Floss, and it's not a string floss at all, which tends to actually push bacteria into the gums. So there is no evidence that flossing helps your oral health.
That was really interesting because a study came out about a year or so ago that said that people should not be flossing their teeth.
Yeah.
That's because, again, it's one of those things that you just do. Mom and dad say that you got to brush and floss, and that's just what you do. And so for 50 or 60 or 70 years, flossing has been a part of the brushing experience. And one study came out and said, this might not be something that you could do. Now, again, you're not making dental recommendations or whatever, but I'm getting the concept as we're discussing here that as you're grinding this into the teeth, that it actually sort of could be filling into the gaps and doing some of these things from a bacteria standpoint that flossing is supposed to do, or used to be thought of as doing, right?
Well, flossing, people usually floss because they have something stuck in between their teeth.
Right.
So what I did develop was Crush Floss, which is actually a piece of cloth, and also, again, my mother inspired me there, which is to put your finger in this fabric and wipe away from the gums. And it massages the gums, it polishes the teeth,
right.
and it pulls out anything that's stuck there without aggravating the gums. I mean, a lot of people have bleeding gums from flossing, and it's an irritant, those flosses.
Yeah, well, because when I floss, and I'm flossing less and less because of this article, I find it interesting, but I usually get bleeding in the gums. So. And I know that when you open and when you wound the skin and you've got bacteria, it will go into the bloodstream. So probably in very little bits, and I think I'm healthy enough. But anyway, okay. My next question: do you have any dentists that are on board? Have you your next marketing thing? Have you actually gone to somebody that you might know in the dental profession and say, what do you think about this?
No, I haven't. That's a good idea.
Well, because, I have a guy that I went to elementary and high school with, and he became a dentist back east, and I don't really know per se any dentist here except mine, but it just seems like an idea that if there were an entrepreneurial distribution dental practice of 50 dentists that said, hey, we want to sell this in our practice, they need to be convinced first. But as I'm seeing some of the things that are changing, again, I'm not a fan of most commercial toothpaste. I think that in many instances they may have done a little bit more harm than just the general good that they think. The whole concept of flossing, which we just went over, and all of the other things in dentistry that I always like, mercury fillings. I never thought that was a good idea at all. And of course now, after 100 years, they're just starting to say, hey, this might not be a great idea. So, but in terms of dentists, I thought, if you get somebody from the American Dental Association, that'd be a pretty good endorsement. So where can someone purchase the Crushtabs? I know that our producer is going to be putting all your information on the screen, so we'll have that. But tell me a little bit about, will they be able to get it at Vaughn's someday, or CVS Pharmacy or something like that, or is it just now going to be an online product?
Well, I'm certainly open to a retail distribution situation, but I think online is going to be my main avenue of selling. So
you mentioned earlier that you're going to be doing a Kickstarter campaign, and that's going to raise some initial money just to help with the marketing, and then you're going to be doing the social media like crazy in 2019, right?
Right.
You're going to be doing the blogs and hopefully interviews and videos like this, and
maybe Shark Tank.
Maybe something like Shark Tank. But again, I think that if this thing, let's say that your Kickstarter campaign raises $5,000 or $10,000, and you say, well, through social media I can sell 50 bottles one month, and you start increasing, then maybe you are your own Shark Tank, which would be interesting. So one of the questions I had, would it be available in retail stores? Not yet. You're still in phase one. You're at the ground floor of the production, marketing, advertising. All that stuff is still ground floor. How long has it been since the initial, my mom was this inspiration to this bottle right here? Is it 6 months? Has it been a year?
It's actually been a year.
Okay, which is nothing in terms of launching a new product. Some people think about things for years. So you're really you're moving along very well.
Thank you.
Because it's a product, and it's an edible product. I mean, one of the first things that I did was I wrote a certification manual, which took me 3 or 4 years to formulate everything. But it was a book. You've got a product that is something that someone's going to eat, so you obviously want to make sure that the product is good, that Food and Drug Administration is not going to come after you in a couple of years. Your products have already been tested. I mean, like you say, baking soda, sodium bicarbonate's been around for well over 100 years. And I really don't think in terms of, all of the regulatory stuff, you're already there. I mean, this is a very simple product. And one of the things that you said earlier about the commercial toothpaste is they have sodium lauryl sulfate, they've got fluoride, they've got preservatives, they've got artificial colors, they've got artificial sweeteners or non-sweeteners. They've got all of these things in there which are not good for the teeth or the body. And then they've got that warning sign that if you do swallow this, you should seek medical help immediately. I would say that 99 out of 100 people have never read that on a toothpaste tube.
Yes, well, one thing I wanted to point out is that when you, I forgot what I was going to say. But there is a laundry list of ingredients, which I think your cameraman has.
If you hold up right in front of you, and we're going to go to camera 3, and I'm actually going to read it. So we got sodium fluoride,
okay, there you go.
triclosan, hydrated silica, yuck, glycerin, sorbitol, that's an artificial sweetener, PVM, MA, coplamine, sodium lauryl sulfite, cellulose gum, flavor, sodium hydroxide, I think that's a whitening agent, carrageenan, which is a thickening, propylene glycol, thickening agent, sodium saccharin, which is the sweetener, mica, I have no idea, titanium dioxide, I have no idea why that's in there, because the titanium is bad enough, but titanium dioxide is not a very good chemical at all. And then you've got FD&C blue number 1 and yellow number 10. Both of those things in large volumes have been known to be carcinogens. So your basic tube of toothpaste, as I have mentioned, probably may be doing over time more harm than good to the body. And I just don't think people understand that. They think, well, my dentist recommended this one or this one, so it must be good. But a lot of these things are not.
Right. Well, and the inside lining of our mouth, the oral mucosa, has the ability to absorb more than 90% of anything it comes in contact with. And so what that means for our health is that, whether the ingredients in your toothpaste, whether they are healthy or potentially hazardous, are likely going directly into your bloodstream.
Right.
So it's important.
Well, I applaud you. I think that this is a very, very interesting topic. And in the last minute here, give us the website, give us something where people can go to here soon and look things over in the next days and weeks and months.
Sure. My website is Crushtabs.com.
Okay. And pretty much everything that we've spoken about. You're going to have ingredients, you're going to have some marketing jingles, etc. I'm looking forward to using this product myself in the new year. So for MedHealthFit, Stephanie Gombrelli, thank you so much for being on the show. I hope that this is going to be a huge success. And this is Eric Durak for MedHealthFit.com. Thanks for watching this episode. We'll see you soon.